Do you want to read a great book that's going to help you get new customers? Great. Today I'm going to teach you what that is. I'm Maverick, the marketing consultant. Hi, I'm Maverick. I've been a marketing consultant for many companies in the Fortune 500 for about the last decade or so. I'd like to teach you everything I know about marketing with absolutely no sales pitches. Today, I'd love to give you a great book recommendation, one of my favorite books of all time on marketing, on branding, The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding by Ries and his daughter, Ries. Isn't that amazing? He wrote a book with his daughter. That's really cool. So I want to get through this really quickly because I want you to read the book, and I need you to understand these laws of branding are so important. I see companies breaking these laws of branding all the time, and I'll go through the laws of branding very quickly. I haven't read this book in years. I still have them in my head. So we'll go through a few of the more important ones and the ones I think stick out that most people violate and most people pay for, even ones I violated. And I read this book, and I still didn't get away with it. And so hopefully you're not violating any of them, and hopefully we can fix any mistakes in your branding right now. So the first law is the power of your brand is inversely proportionate to its scope. And the thing with that is the narrower your brand, the more powerful it's going to be. That's the second law. So again, try to sell one thing to one person and do it all the time. And the point is, you can have a lot of things, if you're a lawyer, for example, you can have a lot of things on your website, divorce law, DUI, but when you're advertising, reach out, direct mailers, for example, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, reach out to one audience with one message and direct them to landing pages that show you do this one thing and do it really well. Nobody begrudges a huge law firm with a lot of lawyers that do a lot of different things. Nobody begrudges those companies. What they take particular exception to is when you see a print ad and it's just a bunch of different legal services. Well, that doesn't appeal to me. That's ineffective. Take that money from print, put it into digital, one audience, one message, one service. So the next thing is great brands are born in the media. Now, I don't agree with that one. I think a modern update is great brands are born in social media. Things have changed a little bit. Social media, more organic. It has more traction with many more people than cable. Cable's really falling. I mean, I believe 75% of advertisers for cable are the pharmaceutical companies. And I believe we're one of the only two countries in the entire world, I believe us and New Zealand, that still allow the pharmaceutical companies to advertise on mass media like that. We did away with cigarettes. I think pharmaceutical companies are next. I don't want to get into too much into politics, but the bottom line is between that and sports, which is starting to stream more and more, you won't have to watch local news to watch sports anymore. And the Fox News, the MSNBC, all those guys are moving to YouTube and streaming and whatnot. So between that and daytime TV, cable news may be done. So I believe great brands are born now on social media. The next law is healthy brands advertise. So that's true. You need to be advertising. If you don't have a campaign running right now, set it up, get it going, hire us, hire somebody else. I don't even care. But the bottom line is great brands, healthy brands advertise. The next thing is, and this always reminds me of the Obama campaign, when you think of Obama, you think of the word change. That was Obama's one big word. Overnight was FedEx. FedEx, that was their word when you thought of FedEx. What launched that brand, what catapulted them into success was the word overnight. You're going to have your package overnight. That was huge. Long before Amazon or any of those dogs came around, that's what made FedEx successful. And I'm sure it was a hell of a time getting to the point operationally where they could pull that off. So again, one word for your brand. The next thing is credentials. You want to use credentials. Wine companies love these. We won this competition, that competition. I see companies I've launched long ago with branding and logo, and now they're always winning awards and House and Forbes fastest growing companies. Credentials are great. They're great. Sometimes they can be a little distracting, but rarely. In general, you want credentials like this, awards you've won, certifications, colleges you went to. If they're impressive, you want to showcase that stuff. So the next law of branding is quality is subjective. And what this basically means is the customer determines what quality is, not you. Moreover, quality is subjective. So you can paint something. How many companies are doing better than you right now and providing inferior services, inferior products, right? That's because their marketing is better, because quality is subjective. So the next one is leaders promote categories. You saw this very early on with IBM and their computers. Great leaders promote the reason to do business with the industry, not just their company. They're too good for that. They're too big for that. They're too successful for that. So, for example, right now, you've got lawyers saying you need more legal leverage. You've got accountants saying you need more accounting leverage. I'm saying you need better marketing. Better marketing will solve more problems for your business than anything else. So as you can see, that needs to be the message. That needs to be the message that you have. I absolutely love this quote from Peter Drucker, the greatest business management consultant, writer, in my opinion, that ever lived. And forgive me if I butchered it a little bit. And he said that great marketing is leadership. I believe that. When you go to a website and they've got free courses, they've got free giveaways, they're doing seminars, the CEO is giving speeches to other CEOs on how to run their companies. This is leadership. This is marketing. These are the people you want to do business with. These are the people that run the world. These are the most competent people in the world. And great marketing can't fake this. Great marketing can't load up a room with thousands of leaders here to hear you speak. But the point is, this is where you need to start. Don't think about your company necessarily, or always. Think about the industry. How are you serving the industry? What are the biggest problems the industry has? That's what you need to start solving with your business. There's like 99% of companies, and they do things exactly the same way. Not Apple. I don't even like Apple products, right? Steve Jobs, love him, but I hate Apple products. But there's one good thing they did. They came in and saw IBM, the way they were doing things, and they said, we can do them differently. They have no style, they have no taste, and we can add that. We can add that cerebral autistic flair to the computer world, and that's exactly what they did. This is the next one. The name is key. I really have to watch myself because I could talk all day about this book. So let's just kind of hop around now, and I'll just give you enough nuggets so that you want to read it. One of the great ones is sub-brands are bad. So sub-brand, for example, is like when you take your company name and you attach it to a lot of brands. Let me tell you who got into trouble for doing this. It was Holiday Inn, I believe in the 90s, and they launched the Crowne Plaza. I've stayed there before, lovely hotel, but the problem was Holiday Inn, the brand, became synonymous with low price and kind of low quality, right? Low price, low quality, cheap hotel to stay at. Nice hotel, but kind of a cheaper hotel. They've changed since then, but at the time, that's how people perceive them. Again, marketing is not about reality, it's about perception. New Coke. So they launched a brand called the Crowne Plaza, and that was going to be their luxury brand. When they launched this brand, it was a luxury brand, more expensive than the traditional Holiday Inn. Better experience, better rooms, better towels, better shower, better everything. The problem was people saw it attached to Holiday Inn and thought, I don't get it, it's a Holiday Inn. No, it's a Crowne Plaza. Yeah, but there's the Holiday Inn logo. There should be, why am I paying all this money to stay at a Holiday Inn? It was such a failure that the marketing guys probably finally got their stuff together and said, let's get the Holiday brand off of this and let's just call it Crowne Plaza. They did it. Absolutely successful. I'll tell you another car company that had the same thing, except they solved it before they even started it up. And that car company was Toyota. When they launched the Lexus, some people still don't know a Lexus is a Toyota. When they launched that brand, they didn't put the Toyota logo on it. Now it's weird because you see every car out there has essentially the main brand and then the sub brand. With Hyundai, Subaru, cars like that. So Buick LeSabre. But Toyota refused to do that because they knew that people would associate that with the cheaper, more efficient, but again, cheaper car, Toyota. And they wanted to create a luxury brand called Lexus. So they completely hid the logo. So again, the point is, sub-brands can be very, very bad for business. One more gold nugget I'll give you from the book is that brands can change. So did you know that Marlboro used to be a cigarette brand for ladies? Yeah, not the Cowboys, for ladies. It was a cigarette brand for ladies, and I forget why, but eventually they changed it and went all in on men, masculinity, cowboys, right? Cowboys, the Wrangler. And they completely abandoned the single white female they were reaching out to. So that brand actually changed. Any brand can change, and any brand can die. This is sad. Rest in peace, brands. Radio Shack. And I'll never forget watching that famous Radio Shack commercial with all the throwbacks from the 80s and wrestlers and all that stuff. And they were kind of laughing at themselves. Well, what did we learn from David Ogilvy? Never be a clown in your advertising. Never make a fool out of yourself in advertising. And that's exactly what they did. They made a joke of themselves, their brand, by having all... Look, I get the idea of the commercial, Radio Shack, for you last C-suite executives out there at other companies justifying your decisions back then. I get it. They were coming in and taking out all the old products, and somebody else was bringing in new ones, getting modern, bringing it up to modern times. It was too confusing, far too complex. Listen, you have to assume the person watching you has a fourth grade education, and that person has no time or energy to care about what you're saying. So you've got to get it in with that big message. It can't be convoluted. It can't be complex. And that's what that commercial was. It was gobbledygook. All they came away seeing was archives, was archaic reminders from the time they were a childhood, from when technology was in its infancy. And so that gave people a really bad taste in their mouth and reminded them. All that commercial really did was resurrect relics from the past, relics from our childhoods. They were great times, but with regard to technology, you never want to use nostalgia, ever. And that's what they did in their ads. They used nostalgia. It should have been just a simple message of how Radio Shack is stepping into the future. But again, all they were talking about was the past. People saw that Super Bowl commercial. That's all they came away with, thinking Radio Shack in the past. Horrible flop. Things happen, right? These are smart people making these decisions, but sometimes even smart people make mistakes. So this is a great book. This is the one book you need on your bookshelf. The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding. It's easily one of my top 50 books of all time. Get it, read it, memorize it, just for shit and gigs, right? So I'm Maverick, the marketing consultant, your marketing consultant. Get this book. You're going to absolutely love it. Take care. Bye-bye.